Welcome to A Magical Life, Health, Wealth and Weight Loss. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, lead practitioner at Holistic Natural Health Australia and #1 best-selling author. In this podcast, I aim to give you practical tips on how to accelerate and sustain your health, increase your financial, spiritual and emotional wealth, and to look at something that haunts many of us needlessly, weight loss. In some episodes, I'll have guests available to give you even more tips, but in others, the floor is yours. Drop us a line at A Magical Life Podcast on Facebook and let me know what you would like to know more about. Now, sit back and enjoy, because it is time for you to create and truly discover a magical life. Welcome back to A Magical Life. I'm your host, Magic Barclay. Today, I'm joined by Lee De La Cruz. Lee has experienced so much of life, both the good and the bad. Her experiences have made her an expert in dealing with stress or the realising of inappropriate stress from the body. Stress can cause so many diseases in our body and results in death for so many. Lee is an experienced teacher, company director and healer. At the age of 40, her life, to many, was perfect, and at 50, was falling apart. Then, at 60, she rebuilt her life to the point where she is living a satisfying and contented life. Although she's not always done what she loves, as she felt trapped in a situation that resulted in a near-death experience for her, she is now doing what she loves and encourages everyone to live their dream. She believes that by doing what you love, you allow others to do the same. By doing what you love, you're creating the basics for a satisfying life. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magic. Thank you for having me. It's an honour.
Absolute pleasure. Now, Lee, your whole world turned upside down and then right way up again. Can you share just a little bit of what that felt like and how it led you to do what you do now?
Okay. As I explained, I had the husband, the house, the investment properties, the 2 children. My life was perfect at 40, 45. Then all of a sudden, with a combination of things, my life fell apart. I ended up losing everything, become a bankrupt, and my whole world fell around me to the degree where I was in a very deep state of depression without realising it. Didn't want to socialise, didn't want to speak to anyone, just virtually lived in one room. It was a debilitating time for me, not realising what was actually happening. Later on down the track, I realised that it was stress, completely and utterly stress, overwhelm. My mother had passed away, my marriage was breaking down, and my whole life collapsed around me and I was out of control. I couldn't do anything, which made me feel hopeless, didn't know where to turn, what to do. It was looking at me, going to a number of self-development, but it's not that, it's finding that particular thing that released the stress from me. And it was just not a momentary thing. Stress is gone and that's it. It took months for my body to get out of the inappropriate stress that I had placed on it, or that I just couldn't get rid of over the 15, 20 years that I was in the stress, which resulted in 2 heart attacks for me, broken heart syndrome, because, everything was falling apart. I think it basically came back to the fact where I let go of some of my integrity, the self-love. I started to doubt myself, and I can't blame anyone for that except for me. And it's that self-doubt that I had, and I just allowed it to grow with allowing people's opinion of me to affect me. And that is a really big thing to overcome. When you're in a state where it doesn't matter what people think of you, that you know you are doing the best thing for you. You're the only one that has lived your life, that has the information that you have. So no one should compare you. And if they do, it's their problem. Don't take it on board. That self-love is just so vital for you. And yeah, it was just a lot of hard work. I had a plan and I worked towards that plan. And I would say that, yeah, I did really well. I'm very pleased with where I am today. I'm in a really happy place. And yeah, I love to help people to get that place themselves. But they're the ones that do the work. I don't have any magic wand that I wave. I spend time, let them work out what they want, where they want to be, and guide them. That's all my role is.
That's fantastic. Now, Lee, there's 3 questions I ask all of my guests. And the first one is, what can your expertise do to accelerate health? When we're talking health, we're not just looking at the physical, but also the emotional and spiritual.
My 3 things that I encourage and say that are my secrets is, first of all, to love yourself. It is just so important to appreciate who you are. Be proud, celebrate the small successes. When I was growing up, my mother used to say to me, love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else to? And that stayed with me for until now. My mother's been gone for over 10 years, and I still, to this day, keep in my mind those words. If you don't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else to? And it's so true. When you're in that state of loving yourself, you radiate different energy. You're at a vibrationally different energy, and it just allows the universe to know that you're comfortable with who you are. And the doors just open up. It's unbelievable. The second thing is to believe in yourself, to have the faith, the confidence, to know that you're doing the right thing. And often we do have that self-doubt. Are we on the right path? Are we doing the right thing? Should I have done it this way or that way? It's having that confidence within oneself. And I often think about a saying from Henry Ford: if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. It all is in the state of mind. So if you're going to believe that you're not going to be able to do something, then you'll stay in that state until your belief changes. And the third thing is to listen, look, and learn. It doesn't matter how old you are. There is still things that you can learn. Listening is really important. Active listening, you can hear things. To look, observe, and then to learn from those experiences. And everyone's experiences are different. Our filters are different. We see things differently. But I like to say, just go with the feeling. Tap into that good old intuition. Those are my 3 key secrets.
I love that. And you're so right about everyone sees things differently. And there's that cartoon of 2 people standing facing each other, and there's a 6 or a 9 painted on the ground. Now, one person sees the 6 and the other person sees the 9. And that can apply to any situation in our lives, that what you're seeing isn't what someone else is seeing. And that perception carries with you. So if you perceive a situation and you put that perception on other people, you're really robbing them of their own perception, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. And we all do it because we don't believe that people are individuals. We think we know that we're all connected as one, definitely, but we're all like the little grain of sand on the beach. We're all individuals, and we're in a different place, so we can't see things the same as somebody else. And until we realise that, we're going to have that conflict and trying to put everyone into the same peg hole, and it doesn't work.
Exactly. Very well said. Now, we talk here about wealth. When we're looking at wealth, it's not just financial, but also personal and emotional wealth. What are your top 3 tips to creating wealth?
Well, first of all, being true to yourself. Not many people are. We like to be the people pleaser, make everyone happy. But being true to yourself is something that I believe is the underlying principle of everything. When you're true to yourself, you go in the flow of the universe, and with that, all the doors open for you. You're on path with where you should be at the right time. And yeah, it's just an amazing journey. And the second thing is listening to your intuition. Some people do this by meditation. Some people get to the stage where they just know before anything happens. They don't need to have that meditation to tap into the inner self, but they are aware. And the third thing is to go with the flow. Be concise with where you want to go in your direction. Once you're concise and clear, then the universe knows where you need to go and where you want to go. And it takes you there. I mean, the universe has our backs, and often we fight against it instead of going with the flow. So, yeah, being concise and having those goals, very important.
I totally agree about what you put out there, the universe will provide. Now, listeners, how many times have you thought, there's some stairs, geez, I really don't want to trip on those stairs? And then all of a sudden you do. It's because you've put it out there and the universe has listened, and it doesn't hear the don't want to. It just hears trip stairs. So it gives you that. And the same with your wealth and with your happiness and with your health. If you're dealing with a chronic health condition and you say, I don't think I'm ever going to feel better, the universe will listen to that and it will make you right.
It's a little bit unfortunate that so many people talk about the things they don't want instead of looking at what they do want. And then they wonder why they've ended up with the cancer. They've ended up losing their money. They've ended up, in some cases, even losing a family member, a child. We need to really focus on what we want, that direction, to be able to go with the flow. If we keep talking about what we don't want, then that's what we're going to get. That's for sure.
So, Lee, when you go with the flow, you can create your wealth, establish your health. How many things do you think you need to change to make that happen? Like, are they minor changes that someone can make? There's a lot of people that get overwhelmed and think, oh no, there's so much I have to do to make that happen.
To make certain changes, it has to come from within you. So it's not being motivated from any external person or thing. To be able to do those changes, they really need to be as small as possible. If we try to do a lot all at once, we just get in overwhelm and we just fail constantly, and we don't understand why. That's those small changes. But of course, you have your big vision. So I basically say that it will take 12 months for anyone to change their life, to make it to a place where they're happy and content. But for them to do that, they need to have the vision of where they're going, the person or the thing, where they want to be, who they want to be, every aspect of their life, and work towards that with smaller steps to start off with. It might be that you want to get more fitness in your life. So you start by doing a 10-minute walk and build it up. Start by going to the gym for 5 minutes. No one says you have to go and do a 40-hour workout to start off with. But make sure it's things that you really want to do. And that's the bottom line. People go to a personal trainer, for example, or a nutritionist, and they give them what they personally think is best for them. But long term, it's not really what you want to do. So it's working out what is best for you. And that can sometimes take up to 3 months to do. So that's why I'm saying it's a 12-month process as far as I'm concerned.
That is a very good point. Making those small steps, really breaking it down, but making sure it's something you want to do. There's no point in doing something because someone else told you to do it. if it doesn't feel authentic and real for you, because it's only going to create more stress, and that in turn will make you feel upset about what you're doing, and you'll start resenting these changes, and you'll actually go back the other way. So if it's wealth you're trying to build, you'll find that you can't hold money at all because you're doing things that don't feel authentic. If it's your health you're trying to build, you could get sicker because that inauthentic way of being creates ill health because you're upset about it. So that is so true. Lee, we often talk here about weight loss, and everyone has their own weight loss story. If you've ever battled your weight, what was the trigger to lose it? Or what can you offer listeners to reduce the stress around their weight?
For me, to actually know yourself, I know that when I'm in my happy place, the weight just comes off me. I don't have to worry about diets, exercise, or anything like that. It just falls off me. Even though I'm 64 now, I've had times when I've put on excessive amounts of weight, and it's been when I've been very discontent, very unhappy within myself, working a job that I didn't like, which was with a husband, children in a family business. But when I'm in the flow of my life, when I'm satisfied with what I'm doing, who I am, I just find that I'm not hungry. I don't eat anywhere near. When I'm bored, I'll go and I'll eat a huge amount of food. But when I'm in the flow and content, I eat about half of what I do when I'm in that other state. So it's knowing thyself, appreciating who you are, and loving yourself. And I know that a lot of people joke about loving yourself, but it is the key. If you love yourself, the world just opens up for you. And sometimes we just need to close out that external world that's out there and value who we are. And sometimes that's really hard to do, but it's the only way to go as far as I'm concerned. And to release the stress is something that, once again, it's an individual thing. It's I would find that walking does a real lot for me and my stress. I try to walk an hour a day, and I come back in a different state. It's the best thing for me. Work out what's best for you.
Yes, walking definitely does refresh the soul. And when you're on those walks, appreciate what's around you. Appreciate the trees, the wind, the rain, the sun, the animals, even the neighbours that you see along the way. Say hello to them. And it just changes your perspective on life. No matter what you're going through, the trees will still be there, blowing in the breeze. The animals will still be there. Really appreciate what you have around you, because so many people don't have that. So you're already steps ahead to releasing your stress. Lee, you conduct stress relief workshops. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, I run stress release workshops that go through many different strategies. I've basically got 5 different components to that, which, yeah, for everyone, there's, as I say, different things that they gravitate towards, and is their key for them. But I allow everyone to experience these 5 different areas, and in doing that, they've got the opportunity to see what works for them. And I say, at least try it 3 to 5 times. And once is sometimes you're getting used to it, but 3 to 5 times gives you a really good opportunity to know if it works for you. I've got 3 secrets that I'll give out today, my 3 W's. The walking, plenty of water. Water is really good to help you de-stress. If you haven't got enough water, you become dehydrated and the good old brain doesn't function properly. Really important to maintain your hydration. And the third one is legs up the wall, which is a yoga pose, which just de-stresses you as well. So you've all got 3 W's there that you'll think about and have a go at them to see how that will help you de-stress, which is important. Stress build up is number one killer as far as I'm concerned. It's related to the 6 main reasons for death. So really important to release that stress once you've got it in you.
Lee, we often offer the guests a chance to give the listeners some freebies. So what can you offer the listeners today?
What I'm offering the listeners is the workbook for the Stress Release Workshop on my ABC of Empowerment page. There will be an area where you'll be able to download that workbooklet. And you can contact me through there anytime you want.
So Lee, your page is on Facebook at www.facebook.com ABC of Empowerment, and that's where you can find that download. You can contact Lee on Lee De La Cruz, so LEEDELACRUZ at hotmail.com, and you can find Lee's workshops at www.leedelacruz.com.au. Lee, one parting word for the listeners around stress, what would that be?
What's your language about it? Our language is the basis for the way in which we create our world. So if you keep saying, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, then of course you're going to be stressed and it's going to stay with you. Say things like, I'm calm, I can deal with everything that comes to me in the day, and I release the stress associated with it. Have your little affirmation. Your words that you speak are vital for your well-being. So watch those words, they come out your mouth.
Beautiful. Listeners, that was episode 61 of A Magical Life. Coming up in episode 62, we have a listener question, which is, how do I make time for me? Don't forget that you can send us your listener questions onto our Facebook page and we will address those for you there. Coming up in episode 63, we have AJ Augustine coming to talk to us. For now, thank you so much, Lee, for joining us and teaching us how to know thyself. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you, Magic. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I just love to encourage people to be themselves, be that authentic self that you know you can be. Thank you so much, Magic.
Our absolute pleasure. Thank you. Listeners, go forth and create your magical life. Thanks for listening today. Please subscribe to hear future episodes, leave a review and share this podcast. You can follow us on Facebook at A Magical Life Podcast or at Holistic Natural Health Australia. That's holistic with a W. You can find us on Instagram at Holistic Natural Health or at www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. That's where you'll access all sorts of articles, freebies and more.